All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we're taking a deep dive into something pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
Automated docking technology.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where ships basically park themselves.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about, right? Like we're talking huge container ships, tankers, the whole works.
It's like self-driving cars took a trip to the shipyard and decided to go big.
That's a good way to put it. And the implications, I mean, they're huge, not just for, the shipping industry,
No, 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 no.
but like for global trade, the environment, even the prices of things we buy every day.
Exactly. So, you want to understand how this tech is changing the world.
Wow.
Well, stick with us because we've done the research, we've talked to the experts.
It's gone deep.
We're gonna break it all down for you.
Yeah, and it's moving fast. Like what was sci-fi just a few years ago? It's becoming reality.
So let me get this straight. No more grizzled captains wrestling the wheel to squeeze these massive ships into tiny little docks.
Well, not quite. I mean, there's still a human element, of course. But imagine this, all right. A giant container ship, hundreds of meters long,
Yeah.
just glides into port, almost like it's on autopilot.
On autopilot.
Yeah, it's using a combination of AI, sensors, and this whole Internet of Things network to
Hey,
navigate
no,
it.
hold on. Back up for a second. You're telling me like actual artificial intelligence is steering these behemoths.
Yeah. The AI is like the ship's brain, taking in tons of data every second. Weather conditions, tides, currents, even other ship traffic.
Oh, wow.
And then it's making these split-second decisions to keep everything running smoothly.
But how does it even see where it's going? I mean, these ships they're enormous.
Well, that's where the sensors come in. It's like giving the ship like super-powered eyes and ears.
Okay.
They've got radar, sonar, even LiDAR, that's light detection and ranging, uses lasers to create a 3D map of the whole port.
Lasers.
Yeah. I know, that sounds like something out of Star Wars.
It does.
But it's all about precision, making sure the ship doesn't bump into anything.
Which I imagine would be a very bad day for everyone involved.
Oh, yeah, a very bad day. Millions of dollars of damage, delays, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, so I think I'm starting to get the picture here. But why go through all this trouble? What's the big payoff?
Well, think about it. Faster docking times mean goods move quicker, right?
Yeah.
So supply chains become more efficient, and that can potentially lower costs for everyone.
Okay, so seeing the dollar signs here. Quicker turnaround times, lower shipping cost.
Exactly.
That means maybe, just maybe, the price of my online shopping sprees goes down a little bit.
Well, I wouldn't count on it, but hey, it's possible. But seriously, the economic impact is significant. It's a global efficiency wave, really.
Yeah, I mean, think about all the time and fuel wasted just, getting these massive ships into and out of port.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a lot.
It's huge. And it's not just about the money either. Safety is a major factor here.
Right, because let's be honest, docking these gigantic ships, even with the best captain at the helm,
Sure.
it's a risky business. I mean, humans make mistakes.
Yeah.
Things can go wrong.
Yeah, you get tired, you get distracted,
Huh?
you misjudge a distance. It happens.
And with these ships, a small mistake can have, well, huge consequences.
Exactly. But with automated systems, you're taking a lot of that human error out of the equation. So ports become safer for the workers. The environment benefits from reduced emissions.
Okay, so it's win-win so far. But come on, there's got to be a catch, right? I mean, no technology is perfect, no system is flawless.
Well, you're right about that. And with automated docking, I mean, some of the challenges are pretty big.
Like what?
Well, for one, all this fancy equipment, the AI, the sensors, the network, it doesn't come cheap. So the big question is, who's going to pay for all of this?
Right. Is it the ports? Is it the shipping companies? I mean, did they split the bill?
It's a big debate, and there's no easy answer. And then on top of the cost, think about the legal side of things. I mean, we're talking about robot ships operating in these, busy ports.
Yeah.
We need a whole new rule book.
Oh, I can only imagine the legal headaches.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who's liable if something goes wrong? How do we protect data privacy?
Yeah.
And cybersecurity, that's a huge one. What happens if someone hacks into a self-docking ship? I mean, that's a nightmare scenario.
Yeah, that's some scary stuff right there. But okay, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about, the human element again. I mean, all this automation, all these robots and AI, it's got to have some impact on the workforce, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's the question everyone's asking. Are robots going to take over all the jobs.
Yeah. Are we going to see like mass unemployment in the maritime industry?
Well, it's not quite that simple. I mean, some jobs will definitely change.
Hmm.
Some might even disappear altogether. But, it's more likely that people will need to adapt to learn new skills
Yeah.
instead of being like out of work entirely.
So it's not so much human versus robot, but more like human plus robot.
Yeah, like a high-tech team working together.
Yeah.
And, we need to start thinking about how we train people for these new, these more tech-focused jobs.
Yeah, because it's not just about knowing how to tie a knot anymore.
Right. You got to know how to work with AI, how to troubleshoot sensors, how to, manage these complex systems.
So it's a whole new era for the maritime workforce. It's pretty exciting actually when you think about it.
It is. It's a challenge for sure, but it's also an opportunity, an opportunity to create new, more skilled, more fulfilling jobs.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the why, the how, the who pays for it, but what about the future? Where does automated docking go from here? What's next on the horizon?
Well, that's a great question, and it's something we're going to dig into in part 2 of this deep dive.
Oh, come on. You can't leave us hanging like that. Give us a little sneak peek.
All right, all right. I'll give you a hint. Think blockchain, smart ports, and AI that can predict when a ship needs repair before anything actually breaks down.
Whoa. Okay, now that's some next level stuff.
It is, and it's closer than you might think. So stay tuned for part 2, where we'll explore the future of automated docking and what it means for all of us.
All right, everyone, make sure you come back for part 2 because this deep dive is about to get even deeper. We'll see you then.
Welcome back, everybody. So last time we talked about the big picture of automated docking, why it's such a game changer. But this time, we're going to get a little bit more into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, let's crack open the hood and see how this thing actually works.
Exactly. So I think a good place to start is with the AI. I mean, that's really the brains of the whole operation, right?
Right. But, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around, like, how does AI actually make a giant ship dock itself?
You can think of it almost like a superpowered captain.
Okay.
But instead of, years of experience at sea, it's got all this data, these complex algorithms guiding its decisions.
So it's not just following, like, a set of pre-programmed instructions.
No, no. It's constantly learning, adapting, refining its strategies based on the conditions in the port, the weather, all sorts of
And
things.
it's actually getting smarter as it goes.
Yeah, that's the beauty of machine learning, right?
Yeah.
The more data it processes, the better it gets at making those split-second decisions that are so crucial for safe docking.
Okay, so let's talk about that data. I mean, where is the AI getting all this information from?
Well, that's where the sensors come in.
Right, the super-powered eyes and ears we talked about earlier.
Exactly. And we're not just talking about like one or two sensors, we're talking a whole suite of them.
Oh, wow. Like, give me some examples.
Okay, well, first you got radar, which is pretty standard, for tracking other ships, even in bad weather.
Yeah.
But then they've also got LiDAR. That's light detection and ranging. It uses lasers to create a 3D map of the whole port environment.
Lasers. Really? I mean, that sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right? But it's all about precision.
Okay.
The AI needs to know exactly where everything is down to the centimeter. So it uses the LiDAR data to identify obstacles like cranes, other ships, anything that could get in the way.
So radar, lasers, what else is in this sensor arsenal?
Well, there's sonar, of course, for seeing underwater.
Right, to avoid any surprises lurking beneath the surface.
Exactly. And then you've got your standard GPS, of course, for precise positioning,
Mm-hmm.
and inertial sensors, which track the ship's movements, and its speed, its heading, its roll pitch, all that stuff. It's really a symphony of information.
So how does the AI keep track of all that? I mean, it sounds like a lot to juggle.
It is, but
Mhm.
AI is built for this kind of data crunching. It can process information much faster, more accurately than any human ever could.
That's pretty incredible when you think about it.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It's not just about, the AI having all this data. It's about how all this information gets shared and coordinated.
Okay, so how does that happen?
Well, that's where the Internet of Things comes in. All those interconnected devices, sensors, networks, all talking to each other.
Right.
It's basically like the nervous system of the whole operation.
Oh, okay.
The AI needs real-time updates on everything, the ship's speed, the position of the cranes on the dock, the weather conditions, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
And the Internet of Things provides that that constant flow of communication.
So it's like a perfectly synchronized dance with all these different systems moving in harmony.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. And this seamless integration of AI, sensors, and the Internet of Things. I mean, it's really just the beginning.
So there's more.
Oh yeah, researchers are constantly pushing the boundaries here. I mean, they're developing even more advanced machine learning algorithms.
Okay.
Systems that can learn from even larger data sets, adapt to even more complex situations.
So the AI is going to keep getting smarter even after it's deployed on these ships.
Exactly, and it's not just about efficiency anymore. We're talking about systems that can anticipate problems, learn from their mistakes.
Okay, so it's like the ship has a built-in safety net.
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, the goal is to create systems that are not just, intelligent, but resilient, capable of handling, those unexpected curveballs that inevitably come up in the real world.
So this is really taking self-driving to a whole new level, isn't it?
It is. It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
But in all this talk about AI and sensors, it's easy to forget about the human element. I mean, where do we fit into this future of robot ships and all this advanced technology?
That's a great question, and it's one that we need to keep asking ourselves. I mean, the important thing to remember is that automation isn't about replacing humans entirely.
Okay.
It's about augmenting our capabilities, working together to create a safer, more efficient maritime industry.
So it's a partnership, not a takeover.
Exactly. We still need skilled professionals to oversee these systems, make sure they're operating safely, ethically, and to handle those tricky situations that require human judgment.
Right. So we're not quite ready to hand over the keys to the robots just yet.
Not quite. But this transition, it will require us to adapt, to learn new skills,
Yeah.
to embrace the possibilities that this technology offers.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a really exciting time to be in the maritime world, actually.
It is. It's a challenge for sure, but it's also an opportunity.
Mhm.
You know, an opportunity to create new jobs, new industries, to really push the boundaries of what's possible.
Okay, so we've talked about the tech, the AI, the sensors, the human element, but what about the bigger picture? What does all this mean for global trade, for the environment, for the future of the shipping industry as a whole?
Well, that's a perfect segue to part 3 of our deep dive.
Oh, come on, don't leave us hanging again. Give us a little preview of what's to come.
All right. All right. I'll just say this. Get ready to explore the geopolitical implications of automated docking. We'll talk about the potential for new trade routes, new alliances, and even some of the risks and challenges that come with this rapid technological advancement.
Ooh, okay, now that's something I definitely don't want to miss.
So make sure you tune in for part 3, where we'll wrap up this deep dive and explore the far-reaching impact of automated docking on the world stage.
All right, everyone, be sure to come back for the grand finale. It's going to be a good one. We'll see you then. Welcome back, everyone, for the final part of our deep dive into automated docking. We've talked about the tech, the AI brains behind it all, those incredible sensor systems. But now, let's zoom out, look at the bigger picture. How does this all impact, well, the whole world?
It's really amazing to think about. We're not just talking about ships docking themselves. We're talking about changing the way goods move around the planet. Changing global trade, maybe even shifting the balance of power between countries.
Okay, yeah, those are some big ideas. So let's break it down one piece at a time. First, global trade, the flow of all those goods. How does automated docking change things there?
Imagine, those ships we talked about, the massive container ships, the tankers. Imagine them moving faster, smoother, fewer delays. That means quicker deliveries, which, makes businesses happy, and could even mean lower prices for consumers. It's all about efficiency.
So win for businesses, win for consumers. But, thinking about it, doesn't that make the whole system like more fragile? Like, what if one port has a problem, a cyber attack, a storm, whatever? Wouldn't the whole chain just grind to a halt?
You're right. It does create a new type of vulnerability. That's why it's so important to have, diverse trade routes, multiple options. If we rely too much on one port, any problem there can ripple out and affect everything.
Right. And we can't forget about the people involved. I mean, earlier we talked about jobs changing because of this tech, but on a global scale, it could really impact entire workforces, whole communities even.
Absolutely. We have to be mindful of the social side of this whole technological shift. It's not about, leaving people behind. It's about making sure they have the training, the skills to thrive in this new landscape. Retraining programs, education, those will be essential.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we've got economic shifts, potential job changes, but what about geopolitics? How countries interact, how they wield their power. How does that get affected by all this?
Well, think about it. Those ports that embrace this new technology, those super efficient smart ports, they're going to attract more trade, become more important hubs. That gives those countries more economic power, more influence. We might even see new alliances forming, new partnerships, all centered around those key ports.
So it's not just about ships and cargo, it's about redrawing the map of global power, who's connected, who benefits.
Exactly. And, with that comes competition. Countries will try to, outdo each other, build even more advanced ports, even more automated systems to attract those lucrative shipping routes.
Like an arms race, but with cargo ships and algorithms.
Yeah, I like that analogy, but the hope is that this competition will, push everyone to be better, to innovate, and ultimately, that means a smoother flow of goods for everyone.
Right, right. Okay, last but definitely not least, we have to talk about the planet. Shipping has a big impact on the environment, burns a lot of fuel, creates a lot of pollution. Does automated docking help with that, or does it make things worse?
This is where it gets really interesting. See, all that time those ships spend waiting to dock, maneuvering into position, they're burning fuel, releasing emissions. Automated docking cuts all that down, makes the process much more efficient.
So less fuel burned, cleaner air, healthier oceans.
Yeah, it has the potential to be a big win for the environment. And, this is just the start. Imagine combining this technology with alternative fuels, electric ships, things like that. That's where it gets really exciting.
Wow, yeah, it sounds like we're on the verge of a whole new era in shipping. More efficient, more connected, and hopefully much more sustainable.
That's the goal. But to get there, we need careful planning, smart regulations, and most importantly, we need to make sure the benefits of this technology are shared by everyone, not just a select few.
That's a good point. Well, it seems like we've really covered a lot of ground here. We started with the nuts and bolts of automated docking and ended up talking about, the future of global trade, the fate of the planet. It's clear that this technology has the potential to be a real game changer.
It does. And we've only scratched the surface here. There's so much more to explore, so much more to learn.
Yeah, I think that's what I love about these deep dives. It's not just about, learning some new facts. It's about making those connections, seeing how seemingly small changes can have these ripple effects across the whole world.
It's about sparking curiosity,
Yeah.
getting people to think about these big questions, these big challenges. And to all our listeners out there, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. As we move towards this future of increasingly automated shipping, what role do we want to play as humans? Are we just along for the ride, or do we want to actively shape this technology, ensure that it serves us, serves the planet, helps us build a better future? That's the question I hope you'll keep asking yourselves long after this deep dive is over.
That's a fantastic question and one that deserves a lot of thought, a lot of discussion. So thank you everyone for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of automated docking. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into the the fascinating world of technology and its impact on our lives. Keep exploring, keep those brains buzzing,